Hello, wonderful traders. Dadas here, speaking to you from the Dadas trading room on Discord platform, to which you are sincerely invited. Those who are already there, I suppose they don't. They probably don't regret it. They like what I'm doing. Of course, if somebody doesn't like or isn't interested, they can always leave. It doesn't cost anything. Anyways, let's do the daily recap for today. Today was a pretty crazy day for me, especially in the morning. I was a little bit, let's say, twisted. So basically, I shouldn't have been trading, but somehow I started trading. Well, let's take a quick look first at the DAX index, DAX 30. Basically, during the Asian session, it went pretty much sideways. So it oscillated around the Dada's daily pivot, and it didn't really show much of a tendency. But just before the Frankfurt opening, it started going up, and with pretty big, I mean, relatively big pullbacks, but still going up. When you know, so like I said, I was pretty twisted today because there were a lot of things happening, and at one moment I saw some price action here. I mean, the action of the price, and I thought, okay, so they're going up, and I entered long, as you see right there. What happened? Well, they didn't go up. They immediately turned around and went all the way down. I got out, like around 40 pips. I said, "Oh shit!" I mean, they're definitely not going up anymore because there was a nice trend build up right there. And so I quickly turned around at the same lot. You see, I went pretty big. I mean, relatively big here. 3 lots. And so I turned around for 3 lots. And basically, I almost recovered the whole loss here. It was just like about less $1. But yeah, so because you see that there's a small difference. Anyways, I thought this is not a good situation. I mean, I don't like. Again, I'm doing the same thing. Looks like the whole week, the entirety of this week is the same way. It's sponsored by, brought to you by Dadas Losing and Recovering. So basically, then the market consolidated again and went up again, but it didn't make a new high. And so basically the range at that moment, the daily range at that moment was somewhere around 160 pips, 167, 165 pips, which is relatively low for what we've been seeing recently. And also the market had this kind of strange action because again, right there I saw some bearish action, and I saw this resistance right there. No, 3 resistances in a row. So I basically thought, and also the price was behaving in such a way as if the market was trading bearish. So I decided to jump in, and again I jumped in exactly at the point where if I had taken a long there, I would have been like satisfied like crazy. But I don't know. It's the same scenario all the time. It often works, but it only works when there is a big trend. And in such situations, when this trend is like a little bit doubtful, I mean, we don't know in this situation. In this situation, we really don't know what the trend is because we can easily plot ourselves like a line through here, right? Because we have that's the top where we had this top already. And we can plot ourselves a line, a trend line through there, right? And we actually don't know we had something with it's called a wedge or something like that. I think it's called a wedge in classical technical analysis, right? In classical technical analysis, this kind of pattern is called a wedge. So we have a wedge here, and we basically don't know if the price is going to go up or it's going to go down, right? Or it's still going to be consolidating inside this wedge. Well, basically the price broke out. Well, you see that what happened. I did exactly. Oh shit. Ah boy. Okay. Now let's delete this. Let's delete this. I basically did exactly the same thing here. I simply I got my stop loss at 44 pips. However, this was a smaller position, half a lot, 0.5 lot, taken by the expert advisor, through the expert advisor. And I turned around and I recovered, because I turned around like 3 lots and I recovered this loss right here. However, I see again I had to I was just watching the counter, and when I saw that the price that the profit the loss had been recovered, so I got out of it. So basically, you could say lucky again. I don't know, because the market retraced and then went back up again. And then again, here we have a stop, right? So a flat consolidation sideways movement, and it basically looked like they were building up a bearish trend again, plus breaking through this support right here. So again, when the market was trading bearish, I got in short. Well, they moved back, the market moved back, and then started going down again. At this moment, I was pretty much satisfied and happy. I thought, okay, maybe this time I'm going to get lucky and the market is going to go down to my take profit. Well, after the 5 minutes, the market stopped. And so I waited out this 5 minutes. I was watching what the market was doing right there, and when it started moving up, I said, now I got to get out of this, because this isn't acting properly. So I got out of it, and you see that the market turned around. Now, when the market turned around right here, there was a pretty nice situation for a long, because I didn't see any shorts right here. The market was we could see the trend all the time, yeah. So higher lows and higher highs. So at this moment, I thought, okay, now this is probably a good moment to get in long. And I actually did get in long at a very nice level, right, with a pretty tight stop loss, and that's why the expert calculated a 1.1 lot, right? But as you can see, the first 5 minutes gave a little bit of hope, but they stopped. The next 5 minutes, they didn't make a new high. The next 5 minutes, again, they didn't make a new high, and they started So I got out. I got very impatient, and I got out. And then you see what happened, right? And then you see what happened. So basically, yeah, we never know, because we never see the future. Anyways, we can see that the market actually did make a new daily high, and ultimately ended up at 240 pips of range, which isn't so much, but it's pretty good daily range. Anyways, let's look at Let's look at this one more time from the perspective of where we could find good setups for trading, for actual trading. Well, of course, considering the trend, right? Because I mean, if we don't consider the trend, then yeah, because what would be good setups right here for, well, I'll do a little trick right here. Okay, I'll turn on these a different way of looking at the candles. So from this point of view, I would be looking for good setups. Okay, let me turn this off. I'll be looking for good setups for trading with the trend. Where would these setups be? Well, when I look at the charts pretty closely, I would say that a good setup would be here on these three candles. And then trading this candle like this. So basically, when the price breaks out and finds support right here. So that would have been a pretty good trade. Another trade, I mean, looking from the perspective that there is a bearish trend building up. Well, I might be looking at these three candles, but the middle candle is a little bit too big for me. Yeah, I mean, I should be looking like that, but I wasn't paying attention to this element. So basically, this could be a good setup to trade from this one, because of trend and because of the break of this support level, right? But we see that it doesn't really always work, but yeah, usually it does. So this would have been a good situation to trade. Another setup is right here with those three candles right here. So again, trading this candle would have been a good setup. Also, a good setup. No matter how many pips we would get, that would be a good setup. There are no good setups later. Now, as far as longs are concerned, well, first of all, we have signal and we have this consolidation zone, right? So basically, if we look closely here, we don't have any good setups. The good setup is actually on these three candles. So this one, and this one. This is a very good setup, practically by the book. And so this is the first setup, and the second setup is after the break, so on these four candles, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and trading this one. And you can also see a bigger setup. I mean a higher time frame setup. So where we have a breakout, we have a pullback or retest, and continuation, right? So, you know, here is the consolidation, here's the breakout from the consolidation, here's the pullback, and here's the continuation, right? Now, in this context of this continuation, we also have three candles right here, even though we don't see a good proportion right here, but we still have these three candles right here that could have been traded. And again, we see the same thing, right? A breakout, pullback, up. So basically, Basically, the problem is that I'm not concentrated enough, and I'm pretty much distracted. And when I'm distracted, I'm simply not paying that much attention to trading. And maybe the reason is also because I'm trading here. I'm trading a pretty small account, like a mini account. So that could be one of the factors. Yeah. Now, could we find something interesting for the long? Let me delete this. In order to delete this, I gotta do this. Okay. Now let's return. Why does my chart do this? Well, it's because of there's a specific indicator here that I'm using which requires extra refreshing, and that's why this strange thing happens. I mean, I don't. It seems like it's not actually the fault of the indicator. It's more the fault of MT4 itself, that it goes back somewhere instead of coming back to the beginning, right? Anyways, so we were talking about the situation. If we could find some good situation, good setup for a long right here, because there are no good setups for any shorts right here. Now, a relatively good, not a very strong one, but a relatively good setup for a long is on these 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, right? Because we have two signal candles right here. That's why it makes it a good setup. So basically, trading this would have been a good one. Yeah. You see, when the resistance becomes support, so yeah, and the stop loss is in the right place. Also, the next good setup is right here on these 4 candles. So this one, this one, 1, 2, and this one. So basically, then we have just supports. And we could trade this, right? So again, breakout becomes support up. So yeah, there are possibilities, and it's not that I'm seeing that it post factum or post hoc or whatever. No, because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be waiting for a consolidation, right? Waiting for a consolidation. So for example, here, when I saw this consolidation, I need to have a good setup, and perhaps, from my point of view, I can also not this one. From my point of view, I can also switch off those that special high-low bar coloring, yeah. And I still see the same type of situation, because then I see these 3 candles right there. And then again I see these 4 candles right there as a good setup for a momentum breakout. Also, then right there I see, because I see this, and I see this. There I am. But still, that's a pretty good setup if the market gives us an opportunity, of course. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. I'm sorry. If it runs away, it runs away. It perhaps also, there's another element here. I'm being too impatient. I want the market to react immediately, and I'm not waiting for this larger retest. Yeah, like here, right? So there's a breakout, there's a retest, and then if the market goes out, then it goes out, right? Also, in the same way, it would have been from this situation, right? So we got a sideways consolidation right here. So the banks are doing what they're doing. They're accumulating right here. That's what it's called. It's called accumulation. So the banks are, there is liquidity right there. So somebody is trading or realizing the orders, right? Filling the orders right there, putting the orders, the big orders that they have, and then the market suddenly, the supply to, or the demand to supply ratio sort of suddenly changes. So there is a big supply, big demand, more demand than supply, right? So whoever was selling there stopped, and the guys who were buying all of a sudden didn't have any more sellers. So the price started going up, made a small pullback, and started going up dynamically again, right? And this is basically the same thing, where we have a breakout, then the comeback or the retest, and then we need to look for an opportunity to get in, right? Again, but it's better to look for a quality opportunity than to take anything. And basically, what I was doing today and most of the week of this week is taking just anything, just taking any shit instead of concentrating on high quality trades. So I think, basically the conclusion is that I need to concentrate more on high quality trades instead of going everywhere and taking just whatever I feel like. Okay, so that's it for today. Tomorrow is another day, and we'll continue trading. So please, if you like my videos, please subscribe if you already haven't. Click the notification bell so that you will get notified about my videos. Also, please join my Discord server. It's free, and I stream every day, so you can see my trades live. You can talk to me. I mean, I would like to have somebody to talk to, but nobody wants to talk to me. I don't know why. Anyways, yeah. Also, you can become my patron on patreon.com/Dada's Trading System Workshop. All the links are below. The link to the Discord server, the link to my Patreon, and there's also some other links over there. If you decide to become my Patreon at $17 per month, you'll be granted the VIP role on my Dada's trading room on Discord, and there will be many interesting bonuses, and you will surely not regret it. Okay, thanks a lot for now. Please keep safe, please keep healthy. Help flatten the curve. And get rid of this whatever corona, and let's go on. So keep safe. See you tomorrow. Bye.